Hi, it's Kai and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing my Project Pan 2025 intro. I personally like to use January to cycle through some things in my collection and decide what I want to put in my Project Pan. Some of these are rollovers from last year's Project Pan, so you can check out all of those videos. It'll be in the same playlist that these videos or this video currently is, and all of the next updates will be in. We've got a lot of products to talk about because this year I'm actually adding in body care and skincare. I already had fragrance in here and makeup. So anyway, we should just stop the chatter and get into all of these products. And why am I holding them in a softball mitt? I honestly was just like, I need something to hold the items that I need to transport when I'm filming in different places, you know, and taking my camera different spots in my apartment. And I just kind of thought, you know what? You played softball for years and carried around plenty of larger things in this mitt, so it actually fits pretty much everything we're going to talk about with the exception of some of the larger body care products. But again, let's stop the chatter and get into it. We'll start with fragrances since I usually do a short form Project Pan for my fragrances over on the other app, and also those will be on shorts here. But I am picking out 4 fragrances. I finished 3 of the 4 that I put in my Project Pan last year, and the one that I didn't finish I'm actually taking out because I just got a little bit fatigued with it and I wanted to focus more on these. I also had a little bit more of a theme with my Project Pan last year, and while that kind of bled over into this year, it's not a theme that I'm necessarily making as hard and fast as I wanted to last year. But one of the fragrances that fits into the theme of last year, which was me trying to get rid of duplicates, is Sniff Wow Factor. And as you can see, I don't really have a lot, less than half of this small size left. I bought this myself, but they sent me the full size of Wow Factor, so I wanted to finish the smaller bottle. And this, of course, I think it's something, oh no, maybe not. I thought that maybe the cap of this screwed off so that you could refill it, but I don't think so. Either way, I figured I would finish the small size before breaking open the larger one. This is a fragrance that is figgy, rosy, a little dewy and green. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. I really enjoy it, but again, I kind of want to break out the big bottle, so I want to finish this one. Then I have the Skylar Peach Fields Rollerball. Skylar is a brand that I don't talk about anymore personally. They've sent me a lot of things in PR. This is PR. I've also purchased a lot of things myself, and so I wanted to challenge myself to finish up some of them because their values don't necessarily align completely with mine, and that's why I don't really purchase them or talk about them as much anymore. Peach Fields was one of my favorite fragrances from them. It's a really nice woody, fresh peach. The woodiness maybe leans a little bit pencil shaving-y, but it's not something that is too much like that for my skin or too sharp. I also have a full size of this and a body mist, and I originally was gonna put the body mist in the Project Pan, but I decided to finish the roller ball, and a lot of the time I will use the roller ball in addition to the body mist or the full size spray. So I'm kind of getting use out of all of the products at once if I put in this versus if I didn't. In other roller balls, I have the Mix Bar Blackberry Tonic and Whipped Almond roller balls. I actually do have the full, or not full size of it. I have the full size of Whipped Almond and then a travel size fragrance pen of the Blackberry Tonic, which I think is discontinued and they definitely should bring it back. But you know, I'm not the one making the business decisions around there. Both of these fragrances are really beautiful. Blackberry Tonic's a nice, juicy, jammy type of blackberry fragrance, and then Whipped Almond has gone viral multiple times for good reason. It's a really fluffy, slightly nutty, but not overly nutty type of kind of vanilla fragrance. It's light and airy while still having that kind of sweetness there. So both of these are really nice, and I just feel as though I like both of these fragrances more than I liked the Mix Bar fragrance that I put in my project pan last year. So I feel as though even though these are pretty full, I probably have a better chance of finishing this than I do any of the other fragrances that I have. And again, these are duplicates. I have a full size of Whipped Almond, so I don't need a roller ball. The only full size bottle that I currently am putting in here is Encanto Shine from Salvatore Ferragamo. This isn't a bad fragrance at all, but it's a fragrance that I have things that smell similar to it. It has a juicy pineapple opening, and then it just dries down to a kind of floral, clean musk type of scent. Again, one that I really enjoy, but I have multiple fragrances in this kind of category, and I figured it was one that I wasn't necessarily attached to, so I might as well try to finish it up. Moving into body care and skincare, because I was putting in the Wow Factor perfume, I decided to also put in this Harry's Dry Skin Relief body lotion. It's the fig scent, which is more of a spicy fig type of fragrance. It has a nice formula. I just don't find myself wearing this a lot, if I'm being completely honest. So I figured these would be nice to pair together to try to finish both of them. I have this Mega Babe La Touche clarifying butt mask with glycolic acid, kelp, and eucalyptus. And if I'm being honest, it's been collecting dust. You can probably see some of the dust on the top of it, honestly, but it's just been collecting dust. I got sent this, and it's honestly just not really a product that I find a use for. I'm not gonna really do a butt mask before I go into the shower or even while I'm in the shower. It does have light exfoliating granules in it, so I think I'm going to use this once I'm finished with the body scrub that I currently have. I'll use this as a body scrub to finish it up, and then it's not going to be something that I repurchase. I actually got sent this, but again, it wasn't something that I was a big fan of. I also wasn't a super huge fan of the Universal Skin Solution Dermal Spray from Prequel, another product that's really viral. People love it, and I can't even necessarily say that I don't like it for my skin. I've tried it a few times, it's fine, but I can't use it multiple times in a row or over a continued amount of time to even track how my skin really reacts to this, because it smells kind of apple cider vinegary to me, and that is a smell that is just very visceral. I have a reaction the first time, or actually the first few times that I sprayed this on myself. When I smelled it, I started gagging. That's how visceral of a response I had to it. So I've been using it on other parts of my body, you know, like if I get a cut or scrape from my cats, using it on the bottom of my feet, just whatever I can to get it done. But I really do want to. Like, I kind of regret not returning it when I could have returned it. But again, I'm gonna try to get the use out of it. If you have responses to things that smell vinegary, you're not going to want to try this out. I've had this Phlur Ameline hand cream for quite a while, and I used to get quite a bit of use out of it when I was working in an office. But now that I'm not working in an office and I'm not constantly washing my hands and then feeling dry and needing to apply lotion because the soap in the office is shitty and dries out your hands, all that is to say, I don't really get a lot of use out of this. It's a nice hand cream. I do like it. It doesn't make your hands too slick, but also actually hydrates the hands. It has a nice rosy scent to it. It's like a dewy rose. However, I'm pretty sure Phlur has discontinued their Ameline line of products, which is really sad. I quite enjoyed them, but I understand that it might not be a good selling fragrance, and you know, you got to make way for new things. So I do want to finish this, especially since I do have some other hand creams now. It's not something that I have always been conscious about buying, so I keep getting sent them, and now I have a few and I'm just like, oh, I need to finish a hand cream because I have backups of them. We've also got the CocoKind Chia Bounce Mask, which honestly is not a bad mask. It just kind of feels like a kind of hydrating jelly type of mask. And honestly, I think I'm almost done with it. Well, if you count being about right here as almost done. It's just something that, again, it's been in the back of my drawer, haven't really paid attention to, and it's not something that I love and would repurchase, even though I can't remember if this is something that they actually still offer. So since it's not one of the masks that I care to keep in my rotation, I just kind of want to go ahead and use it up. I promise I like CocoKind products. I'm just trying to finish up the ones that aren't staples for me, I guess. I also have their revitalizing eye cream. I'm just not an eye cream person. No matter how hard I try to be an eye cream person, I'm not. I am a just put your moisturizers and your hydrating serum underneath your eyes and it does essentially the same thing, unless you really do need like a targeted type of product. So that's just me, not saying that they're not effective necessarily, but all that I really have ever experienced from an eye cream based on my skin is just the skin underneath my eyes being more moisturized, which I can achieve from being more deliberate about putting my other moisturizers underneath. Not a bad product at all. It's just not something that necessarily fits in my life, and I want to whittle down my collection, skincare, all of that stuff into things that I really do enjoy and not things that are just kind of like, oh, this is another step, or oh, I just kind of bought this because I thought I should have an eye cream. Lastly, for body care is a bar of body soap, which as you see, I've been using it, but it was a pretty big, thick bar of body soap. This was from Imaginary Authors. It was their Meet Me in the Meadow scent. I had gotten it free when I purchased one of their fragrances, and it's a really, really sharp green grassy type of fragrance. I don't necessarily mind it because it's super fresh. I just feel as though for a body, like all over the body, it's not my favorite. It is a little bit drying for my skin, but I more so use this for a quick hoe bath, like pits, tits, naughty bits, and just kind of go on with the rest of my day. So this is kind of like my in a pinch type of soap, but I do want to finish this. So probably when I run out of body washes, which maybe never, but when I run out of some body wash, I'll rotate this in instead of opening a new one just to try to finish this up. Again, it's not necessarily my favorite for in the shower, but it's fine. I also have a nail polish, which I doubt I will actually be able to finish, but since I am trying to paint my natural nails more and nourish my natural nail health, I thought that maybe having a Project Pan nail polish would be helpful. So I decided to do it's brown, but I feel like for someone of my skin tone, it's more of a neutral color. This is the Sally Hansen Miracle Gel, I guess just nail polish in the shade Headbang. So again, kind of a deeper chocolatey brown, maybe slightly more cool toned than what I prefer for myself personally. But again, it's something that while I'm not quite sure I'll be able to finish, it'll give me that kind of, oh, I don't know what color to paint my nails. Let me just do a neutral brown color and move on. I actually need to paint my nails tonight, but I think I'm going to paint them red for Valentine's Day. Moving into the beauty products, honestly, the eye products that we have for this year are pretty much the same as last year, so I'll go over them pretty rapidly. First, we have the NYX Nude Matte Shadow in the shade Dance the Tides. This is the progress that we're at currently. I do have this on my eyes right now, so I've still been using this a lot lately. I've had really good progress with it, but it just seems like the eyeshadow that will never end. So I'm hoping this year is the year that it does end. There's also the Pixi by Petra Endless Silky Eye Pen in the Black Noir shade, which is basically a nub at this point. I have maybe another sharpen or two before I'm gonna have to call it quits on this one, which is really exciting. So I am happy to have finished or mostly finished a full liner, but I'm also interested to see how long it takes me to finish the rest of this liner, because while I haven't been doing my makeup a lot throughout January, I've been doing it a lot more than I had in the previous 6 months. So I have been using it quite a bit, and it's kind of just like, when is it going to be the day that it's done? I also decided to throw a liquid liner in as well, because I have a few in my backups from, again, things getting sent to me, as well as things that I had purchased back when I was like, oh, I need to try every single liner out. This is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Lash Enhancing Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Matte Black. I've actually had a brown one of these too that I've used all of the way up, or used up enough that it started feeling dry. I like the brown one better than the black formula personally. I feel like it isn't as deep in black, and you kind of have to go over it a few times, but the more you go over it, the more thick and almost crumbly it starts to look. So for black liner, this isn't my favorite, but I do want to, again, use this up enough that I can call it a finish and, you know, cycle it out of my collection to get use out of things that I enjoy more. Oh, I forgot a skincare product actually. It's the Hero Cosmetics Post Blemish Recovery Cream. This is like a small little size of it that, again, was just kind of an impulse. I saw it clearanced on the end cap at Target and bought it. It's a good product. I think that it works. I think that it helps with my pimples after they've burst and everything, like not leaving behind a scar. However, I also feel like other things in my collection or in my skincare routine help with that as well. So I could probably not need this or need multiple of these types of products. And since this one is the smallest, I actually was like, let me try finishing this one first. So I don't know if it's something that I'll be able to finish. I am a person who really goes through phases with acne. I think I have been talking recently about having some on my chin area, and if I'm being completely candid, I think that was from the Bioma spray. I talked about it, I'm pretty sure, in my last empties video. I'm pretty sure that's the product that was breaking my skin out, because I've had pretty decently clear skin since not using that product in my routine, and there hasn't really been much else in my life that has changed. Not diet, not other skincare, you know, so I'm pretty confident it was that. Again, that might make it harder for me to finish this, but we will try anyway. Hopping back over to makeup, I have the Stila Cosmetics Glitter or Shimmer and Glow. I always automatically say glitter, but it's the Shimmer and Glow liquid eyeshadow in the shade Grace. And I wanted to put one of these in because in my previous empties video, I actually had 2 of the mini sizes in different shades, and those were completely dried up. So I really wanted to get use out of this before it completely dried up. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's really close and that I probably only have another month at most with this, but I'm gonna try to make that month count and try to use up as much of this as I possibly can. Moving into complexion, same concealer as last year, the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Maple. It's something where for the most part, I am almost done. There's a really big glob on the end because I actually used a little cosmetic spatula to get some of it off the sides and to the bottom and onto the spatula for me to use. But I am at the point that just naturally the doe foot doesn't really get the product anymore. So most people would call that a finish, especially since I do take the stoppers out of products, but I am trying to get as much of the product out as possible. So I'm going to continue to use this. And I essentially decided that since I always use another concealer, specifically I've been using the Haley's Beauty concealer to finish it up, that I would go ahead and put this in my project pan. I feel like I'm relatively close to finishing this one as well, and the shape of it doesn't yield as much to me being able to put a spatula in there. So once I can't get any more on the product, it's done. I just hate how like messy, even before I was taking the stoppers off of these products, I felt like they were really messy and just they're so messy to deal with. I'm getting concealer on myself and on everything every single time I touch them. So I'll be really happy, not only so that I can use other products that I like more, but also so I don't have concealer on my hands all the time, because as I've talked about multiple times, OCD, don't like things on my hands. It's just, ugh. Instead of a face primer, especially since the only other face primer I currently have is a more mattifying one, and for the winter time, especially with this being one of the colder winters that I've experienced here in Georgia. I just did not want to use that right now. When we get to the spring and summer and my skin is a little bit more oily and sweaty, we may be able to work out an agreement and possibly throw that one in. But for now, I'm going to use this kind of as a primer. It's the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter Glow Booster. This is the shade 6, Tan to Deep. This is not tan to deep. This is deeper than my complexion, and that's the biggest issue. Because it's deeper than my complexion, I can't really use it as foundation, at least not currently. It doesn't really give my face any highlight. It literally just gives my face some dewiness. So I decided to put this in my project pan, and because this is deeper, I figured I could finish up a foundation that is actually too light for me. This is the Milani Screen Queen Natural Finish Foundation in Toasted Tawny. I've had this for quite a while. It's a really pretty foundation. I actually have it on today, and mixed together, I actually do like these two products. And this is a foundation that if I had the correct shade on its own, I would enjoy. But because I don't, I'm going to mix the two together. This seems maybe a little bit ambitious, and honestly, I'm just now realizing that I'm putting another Milani foundation product into my project pan. I just have a lot of Milani foundation products because they were one of the first brands at the drugstore that carried skin shades for me in their foundation, so I just gravitated toward them more. But yeah, again, if I had the correct shade of this, if they still even offer it, again, I've kind of been out of the beauty game in that I don't really keep up with new releases like that the way that I did 5 years ago, you know, in 2020. And I feel like in store, things are constantly getting pulled on and off the shelves. So you don't really know which products are actually discontinued or which ones just are only offered online now and all that different stuff. Either way, I've had this for a long time. This one, not this one, and I just want to go ahead and finish it up. It's a good product. I just need my correct foundation shade, and I probably with this will try to speed run through a lot of my foundations that are too light for me this year, if I can actually, you know, go all the way through that one. Same powder as last year. Here's where we are. This is definitely going to be finished by this year. It's completely sloped off, and we basically just have like the pan except for right around here. So I would anticipate probably finishing this even before the spring officially kicks off, like maybe, possibly, depending on how much I do my makeup in the next month, by the end of February. Same bronzer as well, which it's only getting a bigger and bigger hole. I definitely feel like I'm using it up faster now that it's panned and the hole is pretty big. Okay, bronzer, I just don't use a lot of Physicians Formula because they don't come out with a lot of shades that fit my skin tone or people darker than me. Same blush as well, the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in Cinnamon. I actually have worn this a few times recently, and maybe it's just because I'm deathly pale for myself that this kind of worked. It's a product that I always go back and forth with whether I really like it or am not a super big fan of it. Right now, I'm in a I like this even on its own era. It's still too dewy for me, but the shade I can get with right now. So hopefully I will be able to finish this before I flip back into the I really don't want to be using this product mode. I feel like a broken record, but same highlight as last year, the ColourPop Ultra, what is this? No, Super Shock Cheek. This is the shade Drop of a Hat. It's a pretty rosy golden shade. But I am definitely getting tired of using it. Not really tired of using it, but it's just like I want to use other things that I have. So don't be surprised if you start seeing a lot of Shop My Stash videos as a way for me to have an excuse to use other products outside of my Project Pan ones. But this is one that I think I can finish it by the end of the year for sure. I also still have this Buxom lip balm, but it's one that I really think if I work at it diligently, I can finish it by the end of February. So this probably won't be in here much longer. Buxom is another brand that I don't really purchase from anymore because they have had flippant responses in the past to people talking about their shade range being a little off. but I do want to finish the Buxom products I have. I have a lot of them, so don't be surprised if you see yet another Buxom lip balm or lip gloss or something put in the project pan after this. And the last two products are from Persona, which they're products that I used to really love. And to be fair, I do still love the season 1 lip glosses. These are one of my favorite lip gloss formulas of all time. They're sheer while still having a good bit of pigment. They had creamy shades as well as shades with a little shimmer like this one. And you can probably tell what happened by me saying they had shades like that. They discontinued these, and I don't know why. These were such good lip glosses. I really wish they would bring them back. This is the shade Toffee, which is one of my oldest shades. And you can even tell that it is definitely well loved because when I swirl my brush, you can see that it's, you know, breaking up against the side of the packaging. So I definitely think this is something I'll be able to finish up by probably the middle of the year. I don't feel like glosses take that long to finish up, especially since you can always just, you know, throw a little bit over whatever you're currently wearing, over another gloss, mix them, match them, all of that. But it almost makes me sad to want to finish this because of the fact that I know I can't get another one, at least not firsthand. But I don't know if I would want to buy like a secondhand lip product, you know? The other one is their 90210 lip liner, and I used to really like this, and that's part of the reason that I'm putting it in the project pan is because I used to like it. I find it maybe a little bit too light for my taste for lip liner currently. I think they have expanded their lip liner line to have a few more deeper shades. I'd be interested in trying those out once I finish some of these up because I enjoy the formula. They're not like a super long lasting formula, but they're nice and creamy and they don't tug on the lips or anything like that. This is like a plummy brown, mid-tone brown, but I just like something a little bit deeper than this. And I also have another one of it. So I figured, you know, again, try to get the duplicate out. Anyway, that's it. Empty mitt. So those are all of the products that are going to be in my project pan this year. I'm definitely going to be doing updates as soon as I have them. Let me know how frequently you would like to see updates. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy wherever you are when you're watching this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.